Okay, I have changed the parchment and I will get these out. These might be a little bit harder. And those two got stuck together. That wax stuck to my fingers, I just chuck it right back in the pot. Looks like I'll have to separate these, but that takes care of all of those. Empty pot, so I will move these aside, and then I have something else that I will try, and I think you will be quite surprised. Good evening. I'm back in my kitchen with the leftover wax that I had used when I made my initial fire squares. This time I'm going to be dipping assorted things in there. This time that sisal rope that I had cut off of my cat's tower, I cut it into smaller pieces. And I am dropping them into the wax. Just going to throw all these pieces in. And I will let them just kind of soak in there. I'll just use my tongs to make sure they get down in there. So I want them all coated. This is my version of a fire rope that I had seen reviewed on another channel. Drop Forged Survival had reviewed a wax-coated rope of some sort that is made by a company that makes these kinds of fire-starting products. But I figured, you know, I had this rope that I cut off of my cat's tower because it had come loose, and I decided to cut it off. And I put a small piece of it into my little fire kit, and I thought, you know, what can I do with the rest of this? And I got this leftover wax, so I am going to make my own fire rope. And now that they have been sufficiently coated, I will put them over here on the same parchment that I used when I got two pieces stuck to each other. I use the same parchment that I used when I made my fire squares. So I figured I knocked the original, I saved that, so I figure, use it again. I knocked any loose wax back into the pot. And then I'll still have wax left over that I can dunk other things in once I get these rope pieces out. That one looks a little gnarly, but that's okay. So that takes care of the rope. And I have some more squares. I'll just go ahead and drop these in. These actually were cuts from some dividers in a box of tea bags that I had. So I cut those apart. I cut them in half. And these will be more fire squares. These will be a little bit thinner. I just shut the heat off. So these will show the true color of the wax. And while those hang out, I will move the paper with the fire ropes aside, and I will pull the wax, the fire squares out, and I'll be back in a minute. I am back, and this is going to be an experiment. I do not know if anyone else has ever done this, but this, in case you haven't figured it out, it's dryer lint. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lumps of it, like the size of a cotton ball, about like that. And I'm just going to drop them in. Some might be a little bigger than others, but you know, that's okay. I'm flipping over the ones that I've just already chucked in. One started to fall apart, so I'm hoping that maybe giving them a little bit of a squeeze will help them stay together. Well, these will probably look pretty gnarly, but this could be one way of combining two good things for fire making: the dryer lint and the wax. You know, the wax can kind of keep the lint in neat little bundles. While at the same time making it easy to use for starting a fire. They're not quite as tightly bundled as cotton balls, but some of these I'll go ahead and take out and drop onto the parchment. Ones that I put in earlier. Then I can reshape these. Now I'll leave more room for the next batch. So I'll finish these up and I'll come back with the finished product. Okay, this is a finished product. I had a little bit of wax left over, so I just poured the rest of it on these. So like I said, they do look pretty gnarly. But sometimes the best fire starters are the gnarliest looking. Just making sure that they're not touching each other while they set up. So these might take a little while to set up. And then over here, I just added a little bit more wax to these sisal rope pieces so that there's a little bit more wax, especially on one like this where it really started to fray out. So a few of them are like that, and this will kind of help keep them together more. And then of course these thin squares. So I'll add these with my other fire squares. So these are not the thicker cardboard from a box, that's how thin they are. But I didn't add any extra because they don't need it because they're already pretty thin. But so I can pretty much bag these. But I'll just leave these here to set up for a bit, and then I'll bag them up, and they'll be ready to use. Although not here, I won't light any of these up in here because I don't want to set my smoke detectors off, and I don't know what the apartment policy is for lighting fires on the deck, even if a small one. So anyway, those are my new fire starters. So again, this is dryer lint over here. Over here, sisal rope and thin cardboard squares. So again, more fire starters. So thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.